Hello and welcome to Unacademy. I welcome you all to this session. I've been getting a lot of messages and a lot of students have been reaching out to say, sir, we need a GI list for 25-26 for this year's prelims. And therefore, here is a consolidated list of all the GIs which have been added this year, which is 25-26 for the examination. Now, before we talk about the GI itself, you can get statement-based questions on the concept of GI. So what is concept? What is GI, what are the different acts which are related to it, I'll tell you, and then we'll go into the list, consolidated list. Now, if you need this PPT, you'll find it in my Telegram channel. You just have to scan this QR code. I will make it available within the 2 to 3 hours of the session going live. Now, first things first, GI is the concept of giving a certain region or a certain commodity some understanding of uniqueness because of its geographical origin, which is that because of its geographical origin, it has a certain quality which is recognized. Further, under TRIPS, which is trade related intellectual property rights, under section 22, it is defined as originating from a territory, region, locality and attributed to geographical origin. Please understand one thing, GI is not given to an individual, to a company, but to the whole region itself. Anything originating from that region which has the same characteristics which has been given GI will then be recognized under GI. Further, there are two types of GIs which you have to understand, which is called protected geographical indications and protected designation of origin, PDO and PGI. In India, there is no concept of PDO, only protected geographical indications is available. Further, there are three conventions: Paris Convention, Lisbon Agreement and Convention, and the Madrid System and Convention, which basically protect GIs. And you should know this list so that if they give you a statement-based question, you're able to solve that also. GI, place of origin, characteristic given to the whole sector. Out of that, you have to understand vis-a-vis trademark, it is less protected, and the section which is under the Geographical Indications of Good Registration and Protection Act, GI Act of 1999, India has created a regime under DPIIT. You have to understand this also. So there is a international convention. Within that, in India, GI Act and GI Registrar basically dictates everything. 10 years it is initially given, can be renewed indefinitely in 10 years cycle. And remember that the state has to nominate to the GI registrar, then the GI registrar will register it. And foreign countries can also take GI tags in India, such as Germany and Italy have taken recently. So this is the legal regime. Now, what has been added into GI for 25-26 is basically what you need for the examination. And this is the consolidated list first. Kher Sangri, Rajasthan. This is what is expected in the examination. They will maximum ask you GI and state, but I've also given you one characteristic which you can keep with you for the examination. For example, based by Kher berries, and it's a cultural symbol. Banaras Shehnai, Banaras Tabla, Banaras Lal Bhalwa Mirch, all UP, but difficult to ask in the examination because Banaras already given. So Kher Sangri, you should remember here, the UPSC can't ask a question because it will become very obvious that it is Uttar Pradesh. Then Kannadippya, Kerala. This is a tricky one because people tend to say Kannada and then think Karnataka, but Kerala. So one, learn this, second, learn this. Then Sandesh, Lolen Gurer, West Bengal. Easy to remember because Sandesh. Then Bonde, West Bengal. Again, a Bengali word, so therefore easy to remember. Now, Chhena Bora, again Rasgulla, basically easy to remember, West Bengal. Then we have Bishnupur, Motichur Laddu, again easy to remember because Bishnupur is given. Then you should basically learn these two because the name, again Malda easy, but they can ask Nistari silk yarn. These two become important because the name of the state is not there in the name of the GI itself, or the place itself is not very obvious. So out of this list, only 4 have to be remembered and easy to remember generally. Then from Meghalaya, Khasi handloom, easy to remember because Khasi, Meghalaya. And then you have Rindia silk. This is again to be remembered because Meghalaya, Rindia you should know, and tribal handloom. Thereafter, Warangal, Chile, Telangana, easy, Warangal already given. Then we have a whole set for Tamil Nadu. This is a difficult set because you may not know the terms and you may not per se know what it means. So cotton sari, the concept of a jaggery powder, then one form of cookware, the rice itself which comes out, and handloom miniature toys. All this is an important list to remember, can come in the examination. Then Meerut Bhugol, very easy because Uttar Pradesh, Meerut. Then two from Sikkim, recent additions, Lepcha tribe, basically, the Tungbuk and the Pungton Pulkit. Sikkim, important. Last major addition, which I've recently covered in a session also, is Kaladi, coming from Jammu and Kashmir UT, which is basically a savory milk item. So remember, this is the only list. You can Google as much as you want to. You will not find a consolidated list. This is all out of the 3 marathon sessions which I've taken. I've consolidated one list for you. So I hope that you will learn the state and the GI. And if you're able to do this, learn one characteristic, and you should know the GI Act, the 3 international concepts, and what is GI per se for the examination. So I hope that you will use the PPT and also use this session for the examination. Thank you. Take care. I'll be doing one more session on all literature and over and above that, all terms. So what I've planned is I'll give you one more session on all the terms which are relevant for the examination, because UPSC has asked a question in 2025, and I'll also do all literature because again, that is something which is quite scattered. I'll do it in class itself. Thank you. Take care. All the best.